Brace yourself for flavor explosion. Joining us today is the chef who is bringing up the heat and heartwarming stories to MasterChef Australia. It's the one and only chef Sumeet Saigal. So get ready to be inspired by her food stories and maybe even a little hungry by the end of the interview.
There were so many ideas coming to my mind. I said, no, but I can't go beyond Pani Puri. Like, you have to do Pani Puri. The Pani Puri reel go viral. I couldn't believe it because I think the show aired and the next morning it hit 1 million. And then soon after, I think it's on like 11.7 million or something and still counting. I can't imagine those people watching me on MasterChef going, ye ladki MasterChef mein.
Welcome, chef. Welcome to NDTV.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Your culinary journey on the show has captivated and inspired many. So we are excited to dive today into your passion for food and learn more about your unique culinary story. So you mentioned that your Punjabi heritage has a major influence on your cooking. Can you share a specific dish or a memory that encapsulates this love for food?
Yeah. When you ask a Punjabi to describe one favorite food of theirs or one favorite memory in terms of food, it's almost like picking your favorite child, which is not which is not possible to do. So all I can say is that as far as my Punjabi heritage has influenced me or has been a memory for me, it's everything. Our lives revolve around food. When you're
Yeah.
having breakfast, you're talking about lunch. When you're having lunch, you're talking about chai. When you're having chai, you're talking about dinner, and then you're talking about the next meal, or you're talking about while you're eating, you're talking about मैं वहाँ पे गई थी, मुझे वहाँ पे उसका खाना अच्छा लगा था, while you're eating something else. So I think in terms of Punjabi culture influencing me and my food style, it is just like centered around it.
I was hoping you will say chole bhature, but okay. I mean, you can
Remember,
actually.
I'm a Bangalore girl. Remember, I'm a Bangalore
Oh,
girl. So I would
I mean,
probably
you're
say
Punjabi by
dosa.
heart too.
That is true. That is true.
Sumit, we saw your Darji's touch with the Pani Puri, you created on MasterChef platform. Tell us more about your grandfather's influence and his unique approach to cooking.
Yeah, look, so my Darji had, 9 children, and mainly predominantly, the family is originally from Amritsar and then moved to Bombay, and my grandfather was like sort of the driving force of that to happen because he was a very entrepreneurial man, very, out there, forward thinking, industrious man. And from there, then he sort of came to Bangalore with my father.
Mm.
So he's always been a very strong influence in our life. Like we've always known him growing up, because he was to live with us. But I think the major influence that he had in my sort of culinary journey was the fact that he was such a inquisitive man. He was so curious about everything he did, and that included food. If he
Yeah.
was eating something, he was very fascinated by what spices went into it, how the process happened, where the produce came from, you know what was written on the labels of the jars of things that he bought. So there were so many, I think growing up as a child, just watching him be so curious about food and how he approached it was that I think was the biggest influence he had on me. And then
Um,
he always, in his later years as he was aging, it was really interesting because he would always talk to us about the foods that his mother used to make in the villages in Punjab. And then he had this little plug-in, electric stove that he'd plug into the wall, and all day he'd be cooking kheer for us because that's how his mom did it with, dates inside it, and the khajur would make the kheer red by the evening, and he would get so much pleasure in making us have it and, relate stories of his childhood. And yeah, so there was so many. I was just as a child and as a growing up girl, I was so fascinated by him and his journey and his experience and his curiosity.
Trading your hotel management for sales, that's quite a shift. What ultimately made you shift your everything, like your management, your professional corporate job to cooking and to fulfill your culinary dreams? What was is this the reason, your Darji, or was it more?
I think it was, it's a very deep passion for me, to food is a very deep passion for me, and I always wanted to do something big in food, whatever it is, but karna tha mujhe. Whatever it was, I just kept my little finger in the food pie always, and just could not give up on that idea, Shubham. I was like, almost like with a dog with a bone, I just had to keep pecking at the food business at some stage or the other, in my life. So when this opportunity came along and I mustered the courage to, I think, put the application in and think, let me just give this a go. I'm sure at least the worst they can say is no, but I can try.
Yeah,
Uh, and when it came through, it was, I guess, the right moment for me to say, this
that's
is
what we
that
call it.
fork in the
Yeah.
road.
Let's move to spices.
Yes,
Spices are your superpower, you say. So
yes.
can you share your top three spice combinations and flavors that, I mean, they unlock?
Yes, absolutely. So when you think of Indian spices, or when I think of Indian spices, there are four cornerstones or four pillars of Indian spice cooking, right? One is your
Yeah.
turmeric,
Yeah.
chili, coriander, and cumin. You
Yeah.
need these four spices which make your base. I call them the cornerstones, the four cornerstones of Indian,
Absolutely. Yeah.
spice cooking. So definitely those. But my favorite spice has got to be cardamom. You
Oh,
know, I love cardamom because it's so versatile, exactly like I think that's the way I think, versatility is the way I think. Because your cardamom can go in your desserts, can go in your savory, can go in your biryanis, can go in your curries, can go in your masalas, can go in your chai, can go into into so many different applications, which is so exciting. So I think if you ask me, my star spice would be cardamom, then followed by the four cornerstones, which you can use in so many different combinations.
So, I mean, we spoke about your Daji, we spoke about your shift in careers, we spoke about your journey at MasterChef. Let's come to your twins. Your
Mhm.
17-year-old twins are your cheerleaders, we heard. So how has their support impacted your, like culinary experience, your culinary journey, your career?
They have hugely influenced my culinary journey, completely hugely. The twins were born in 2006 and they were very young. And I remember their first birthday, I literally went all out and said, I'm going to do all the cooking myself, and literally spent hours and hours doing it. And I still remember I made cupcakes as their birthday cake, but it was a tower of cupcakes. And
Wow.
their theme of cupcake, their birthday was the rubber duck, because I had twins, a girl and a boy. I thought I
Yeah.
can't go all pink, I can't go all blue. Let's pick yellow. And,
Yeah. Let's
the
break
rubber
the
duck was the
stereotypes
thing
there as
too.
well.
That's it. Yeah, like break that stereotype too, right? And
Yeah.
then I said, oh, so I had this tower of, 100, rubber ducky cupcakes that I had made. And from that was born my first sort of side hustle, which was called Sugar Cube Cupcakes, and I think NDTV, used to have a magazine, I think at that point, I can't remember, but there was I did it in India as well and was covered. So it was so amazing to go through that journey. So that was the first influence they had on me in terms of, a side hustle that I did with food. And they always have. So then, life took its turn. Ups and downs happened. I was a single mom with the twins. And the one thing we used to love to watch was MasterChef.
Yeah.
On the season when the season was on. And actually we used to sit together, the three of us, and watch the show. And the kids, I still remember their eyes used to be wide open looking at the, food on screen. And then they'd look at me and say, Mom, can
Oh.
you make this for us? Or can you make that? So, and I was so excited. I would go shopping for them and, pick up that stuff and make it for them. So there is so many from that age, from the time that they were like 4 or 5 years old to now, when before I put my application in for MasterChef, I called my son when I saw the ad come up on TV, and I said, do you think I should apply, Samar? And he goes, absolutely, Mom. Really? I said, if he believes in me, then how can I doubt myself?
Absolutely. What a wonderful story. So, I mean, do you guys still cook together? Is there like cooking weekends or cooking Friday nights, something like that?
My kids are 17. I have to literally have elephants pull them out of their rooms to and away from their gadgets.
Yeah.
But however, my daughter has always enjoyed baking. So, we do have moments of, where she'll just come to the kitchen sometimes. Like she used to do that more a little bit earlier. Now that she's 17 and it's their final year of school, I think studies and the gadgets and the friends have taken over. But there used to be a time when she'd come and she said, Mom, I want to bake a cake. And then we'd spend the afternoon baking cakes, so that was our thing. My son is a very big helper in the kitchen. So he doesn't do as much cooking in my kitchen, even though he does food tech at school. So he
Oh,
makes things at school. So I think in that way he's been influenced, to
yeah.
be able to do something in food. But they can survive. They can make salmon. They can, cook and eat well if they had to. So yeah, but yeah, I don't mean.
Oh, wow. So now with this, we have come to our rapid fire round. Okay.
Oh my
And
gosh.
ask
Okay.
you like, oh, they're very cool, easy questions and all. So we have got 11 questions for you. We have to be very quick. So your first
Okay.
instinct should be your answer, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So first question is, what's the one ingredient you can't live without? What?
Salt.
Sorry?
Salt.
Salt. Oh, of course, of course. Salt. If you could cook for any celebrity, who would that be?
I would love to cook for the OG MasterChef judges.
Oh, the trio, the trio.
Good trio. Absolutely. Would love to do that.
All right. Describe your cooking style in 3 words.
Modern,
Hmm.
tasty, and beautiful.
Oh, sweet. Okay. If your cooking had a theme song, what would it
Yeah.
be?
I think it would be a Coldplay song of some sort.
Mhm.
Um, ah, it could be Paradise.
Oh, such a
Yeah,
wonderful classic. It's a classic.
I think so.
Okay, so what's the weirdest food combo you have ever tried and loved?
Oh, tried and loved. Oh my gosh.
The
So this
weirdest.
was one of my co-contestants that made it, and I just went when he first said it to me, I just went, oh, and then when I ate it, I went, okay, this can work.
Mm.
And it was strawberries with
Okay.
scrambled eggs and pistachios. I
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, it
wonder
was
how,
crazy.
I wonder
But
how
it
it
worked
is.
because it's almost like if you think about eggs are like the base of custard.
Yeah.
So it goes on that flavor profile. And
Yeah.
it was so weird. And it had some
I need
balsamic
the recipe. I'll try
flavors.
that at home.
You want to try it. It takes a little bit of it's like a mind bender a little bit.
If you had to cook one dish to save the world, what would that be?
Dal chawal.
Oh, that's very humble and
Staple.
yeah.
That's the food.
Okay, what's the best cooking advice you have ever received, even from the show or outside the show?
Yeah. The in the show, and this is probably the thing I really had to learn was to keep it simple, to actually hold back. Because I think me as I'm a feeder. So, you come to
Yeah,
my house and you're not going to get one entree, one main, one dessert. It's going to be an array of entrees, an array of main dishes, and array of desserts, because that's the way I think we as Indians eat. Like we are generous, when we cook food. But I think
yeah,
the one thing that I learned from them was to keep it simple. So actually pull back and edit.
absolutely. Okay, if you could only eat one cuisine for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, I love Japanese food.
Yeah.
So I
Okay. What
think
about
that would be
Japanese?
it. Yeah, I do love Japanese. I love my Indian, but I love my Japanese food.
Of course. I mean, it's simple. It's very like soulful again, and a one pot
I
meals. Yeah, well, of course. I
love
agree.
it.
Let's do that when
Oh my
you're
God,
in India. Let's do
let's
that.
do it. Oh my God, I love it.
So what's the funniest kitchen mishap you've ever had? Be it at MasterChef or outside?
I think it's gotta have to be confusing my salt to my castor sugar.
Oh
That's got
God.
to be. It's such a classic, and you never realize it till after the event, and that's the worst, especially
I
when you're
mean,
serving people the cake
yeah.
that you. Actually, when I cut it and served it to them, I cut myself a piece. So they kept really quiet when they started eating. But the minute I took it, I said, please, can you leave it? I've obviously made a mistake. You're way too polite to say it.
Oh God, how sweet.
I can't imagine those people watching me on MasterChef going, ye ladki MasterChef mein thi."
I mean, what did they say? Did they come back to you? Okay, Sumeet, kuch gadbad hai isme. So, Sumeet, that was a really, really interesting discussion. Thank you so much for being with us on NDTV Food. We eagerly wait for your future culinary creations, and when you're in India, let's catch up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed the conversation. I so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sumeet.